Putpururukka Namaskaralu. Thank you so much for coming today. This is the first event that Yuva has organized. Many thanks to the leadership of Anaga, Anish, Ishan, Suhas, all the people that have supported to make this happen. Elladikkinta doddagi, we have to remember and thank Yogeendra Bhat ಅವರು. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಅವರ ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಸ್ಕೆಡ್ಯೂಲಲ್ಲಿ he has opened up a day, made time for all of us, and been very kind to answer all of your questions. Any questions that you have, you can bring it up to him. There is no language barrier. You can bring up the questions either in Kannada or English, whatever you want. Please feel free to raise this question. The session is not for adults, it is only for you, for the kids of all age groups. So please feel free to ask anything and everything. Don't have any inhibitions. You will not be judged for asking any questions. No question is a silly question, no question is a serious question. So feel free to ask whatever you have in your mind. And this is the first of the series. We will have a lot more of these events coming up every month or every few months. And we'll collect the feedback from you and we'll try to improvise how we can make it better. For the people who are in the back, with the adults, if you have not registered, Brindavana membership ತಗೊಂಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು membership ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. I will be there outside, Jyoti will be there outside. Feel free to please register. ನಾವು ಬಹಳಷ್ಟು ಹೊಸ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಗಳನ್ನು ಅಳವಡಿಸ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. We don't want to do the same things again. We have taken from the Sankalpa team, we have taken Sankalpa to bring something fresh for you. As part of that, April 5th, we are organizing Chaitra the Chittara. We have done this before. It is an event to celebrate Holi. Also, Shree Ram Navami, Avattin Disana Baradinda, Sutamta Baradinda, we are doing Shree Ram Navami also. So, we are doing it in the form of a Jatre. We have never done this before, but it is a new concept. So, we are inviting a lot of our members to prepare food, come and sell it in the Jatre. So, it's a new concept. Try madana hengagutte anbiಟ್ಟು we'll also improvise going forward. So our event is happening on April 5th. ನೀವು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದು ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Then we have the second major event, which is our Vasantotsava coming up on May 3rd. ಅವತ್ತು ಶ್ರೀರಾಮ ಪಟ್ಟಾಭಿಷೇಕ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು Broadway kind of style ಅಲ್ಲಿ about 70 to 80 dancers are going to be on the stage performing. A lot of our children here have also signed up. So ಅದಕ್ಕೂ ರಿಜಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಲಿ. And one special thing that we are also doing during that event is we are introducing Badele Uta. So that is also something new. So there is a lot of new and fresh programs coming up. Please register. The first and foremost thing that we need is community support. We cannot succeed, we cannot bring anything new unless our people support us. So please support us by signing up and registering for the events. I'll hand over to Anaga if she wants to tell a few words.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys all for coming. I'm really excited to see all of you here. So, for those of you who don't know, this is the launch of our new Yuva Brindavana initiative, and it's about exploring our spirituality, Sanatana Dharma, understanding our way of life. And Yogeendra has been so kind and gracious to give us his time to answer all of your questions and to explain our roots. So with that being said, I think we can get it started. Like Sunilaka said, all questions are welcome. More questions, the better. This is supposed to be an interactive experience where everyone gets to engage in meaningful conversations and a very open environment. So yeah, I'll hand it over. You'll give that to me.
अभीप्सितार्थसिद्ध्यर्थं पूजितोजस्वरेरपि सर्वविघ्नच्छिदे तस्मै गणाधिपतये नमः. कृष्णं वन्दे मन्थपाटधरं दिव्याभकाकृतिं शिखाबन्धत्तलोपेतं वैष्णीमध्वकरार्तितम्. अस्मद्गुरुसमारम्भां टीकाकृत्पादमध्यगां श्रीमदाचार्यपर्यन्तं वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः. Namaste to everyone. Say Namaste. Very nice. All of you are happy and excited? Yes? Good. You know what? Today is a special day for all of us. We are all doing something special. All small kids. It may be a little bit boring to you. Okay? But still, we appreciate your attendance. Okay? Now let us learn about something. How many of you know Kannada very well? ಯಾರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿ. ಯಾರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಕೈ ಎತ್ತಿ. ಮಕ್ಕಳೆಲ್ಲ ಹುಷಾರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Okay, you don't know Kannada? Raise your hand. ಬಿಟ್ಕೊಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Anyway, now let us be proud about what you are. Okay? What we are. Whatever we have been following, we have strong history behind. Whatever we are doing, everything is reasonable, scientific, practical, right? First of all, I appreciate the way today's arrangement. All of you are sitting on the floor. Are you comfortable? If yes, raise your hands. Little more. I can see properly. Right? You must be comfortable. You have to learn this. You know why? This is what called a Sukhasana. We have to sustain without any such facilities. Right? Somewhere, some places we may not find. Still, it should be okay for us to enjoy our life and move on. This gives good health as well, and also like the power and strength and concentration especially. So that is the reason I request everyone at least couple of minutes every day, just sit like this. Eventually you will be happy. Okay? Now let us learn something about where we have come from. Our life, it is not our choice. You agree? Right? Did anybody ask you where you want to give birth? Who has to be your dad and mom? Did anybody ask you? No, right? Then who makes such decision? Yalo? Okay, right? So, God gives such special things to us. Just imagine if we get birth in a deep forest of Amazon. What kind of life we are going to go through? Can you imagine? So you are all happy today, right? Because you have everything. You have good mom and dad. And whatever you want to have, whatever your wish, you are getting easily in your hands, right? So, we have to remember, meanwhile, there are so many young kids like you are struggling in this world, right? So we first of all we have to be thankful. Whatever we are all having, God's grace. Okay, now that is the basic understanding of our Sanatana Dharma. The Sanatana means which has no beginning and we cannot count the time. It is eternal. We have exact count how old this creation is. If you go back to, like in our scriptures, the Puranas, do we have any idea how many Purana? Have you heard about the word, the Purana? You know that? Okay. Many Puranas, the major 18, okay? And the Vedic scriptures as well. Mahabharata, Ramayana. We have exact idea, even whatever the science or the medical related, all such knowledge, the sources we are all having. So since thousands of years, okay, now let us understand one thing first. God gives this opportunity for all of us. God gives the good parents to you. And God gives all such good things for all of us to enjoy. If somebody gives something to you, they are expecting something in return, right? Only one thing, that we have to follow whatever the scriptures, and more than that, whatever our ancestors they have been following, right? That makes them happy. So your mom and dad, they work hard, right? They take care of you very well, right? All of you are happy about your parents. Yes or no? Yes? Are you sure? Okay. In return, what you can do something or make something to make them happy and proud about, we have good kids. Think about it. Okay? Such qualities we have to learn. Now, let us start with something. Now, first thing we have to understand why we are here. I mean, in this world. What we have to do then the next. So how long we going to live in this world? And what is the real purpose of our life? There are so many things to learn. Okay? Then our day-to-day practices. What we have to do every day. What our tradition or our generations, whatever our parents are doing, why we have to go to temple, why we have to celebrate so many festivals, and what is the meaning behind it. There are so many such questions comes, right? Let us find the answer for everything. I stop here, and we're going to talk a lot about each and everything hereafter. Now, I give the opportunity for all of you to open up some questions and let us try to understand something about it. Okay? So, who is ready with the question?
I'll start off.
Anyone?
I have this list of questions that all of you guys submitted over the Google Forms, and I want all of you guys to be the one to ask about it. But my question specifically, you said you hear this, I want to be thankful for everything. ದೇವರು ನಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟು, especially us, we're so blessed. So the question is, when you're going through life, there's good times and bad times. So in going through pain, going through failure, going through sadness, how do we use spirituality to help guide us? How do we detach and surrender to Krishna's plan? What are some things that we can do in this generation to deal with the negative of life?
Good question, Anaka, and good start. Of course, we are all happy. Whatever good comes to us, right? We don't want any negative or challenges coming, but nothing is in our control, right? We have no idea exactly what going to happen next moment. Still. And we have no control whatever happened in the past. Again. So we have to be the present and hope the best. Hereafter everything will be fine. We believe as the karma, the reason. Not only we are doing at the present moment, the past life as well. That must be the reason. Otherwise, what is the reason? If God gives such, challenges to us and keeping some people happy, that is discrimination. We cannot call him as God. He himself in Bhagavad Gita he declares, Nadatte kasyachit papam nateva sukritam vibhu. I am not here to make any discrimination. People are suffering because of their karma. Then what is the simple solution? Just do good and you will see good for sure. That's all. And if we find so many challenges in front of you, fine. We have limitations, right? How far you can see? Just why don't you think bigger? There is somebody you can trust, that is God. And keep yourself, your mind and heart pure. I didn't do anything wrong. So that God's assurance is there. Krishna says clearly, Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. If you are a humble person, if you keep your heart pure and pious, I am there to protect you. Right? That assurance is enough for us, right? Just why we have to worry? Just give up and try to be happy. God is there to protect us. That is the positive something we can keep always in our mind. He is there with us. More than anything, Krishna says, Ishvara Sarvadesh Dev Bhutanam Hrideshi Arjuna Tishtati. He is living in your heart. But you are looking around. All the challenges, all such, the fear and concern, just forget everything. Just keep asking yourself, am I wrong or right? So if you do keep on doing good things, yes, you are on track. He is there to protect you. Next.
Okay, do you guys have any questions? I know you guys do. Oh, go ahead.
Okay. Stand. Let everybody see. Okay, Anaka, stand.
They're making me ask this because they're too nervous.
Not
But
really.
they want to know if we accept people that marry the same gender. So gay people and lesbians.
Okay, the question, of course, it is relevant for time being. Okay? Anyway, these are all such things recently coming up. If you go back, 10 years or 15 years or 20 years ago, it was not at all relevant. Okay? I mean, so there was no that kind of, idea or such feelings, or we never find any such records in our Sanatana Dharma or the previous time. Nowadays, our Sanatana Dharma doesn't believe in such things. That is the just like some feelings of some people, whatever it may be. But finally, the natural some things, if you look at all other animals they are living, if you look at all other living beings, so all such naturally, the such attractions and such like connections. Fine. Now let us don't get into such complicated things. First of all, let us understand something. Sexual attraction, especially all young kids, you should understand this. Our concept is the life is not to have just entertainment, just to enjoy. There are so many things to do. Other than sexual activities, there are so many good things. Right? First of all, Upanishad says like this. Pradatantumam vyavachesi. We had such belief and practice and such values. All students, we had the special and different kind of education system. You know that, right? When the school, college, high school, all such activities started. Before that, for thousands of years, we had Vedic school. Have heard about the Gurukula? Yes, right? Residential school. When the kid about age of 8 or 10 during that time, parents they select one of the residential school, they send the kid to the school. The kid will be living with teacher and all other students for 12 years. Okay? Till then, their focus, they are telling, don't get your mind diverted anywhere else. Just focus on only education. Right? Only education. After you are completely educated, graduated, then you are thinking about the life partner. Till then, we have no such entertainment or such important such attractions. You have to control yourself, right? When you are hungry, you know what you are supposed to eat, right? If you are really hungry, still you don't eat what you are not supposed to eat, right? Yes or no? You agree? If you are very hungry, still you don't want to compromise, right? Some things are there in your mind. I don't want to compromise. I am ready to face any challenges. If I am not supposed to eat meat, I will not eat at all. I never touch, right? That kind of such conviction and such strong feelings you can have in your mind. That is how all such great scholars you find in our ancient, like in history, right? Because of their sacrifices, concentration, great effort, and determination, they have become successful. All students don't get into all such thoughts or such ideas. They're not going to do anything, or they're not bringing some kind of something for you to take home. That is nothing, just a gossip. Okay? Whatever such things comes, you have to focus. No, I am not supposed to do anything. Right? During exams and also things. So if you are sleepy, if you are like the bored about something, still you want to put your effort continuously. Because your goal is to become successful. Like that, all students just focus only on education. When you are mature, right, then you know how to live your life. There is a time for you to make your own decision. Till then, just concentrate on only studies. All such attractions and things, not relevant for us, for time being. don't hesitate for asking anything. Okay? Let us be open.
I recently had a lifestyle and I've been wondering about a certain question. Should our love for God, should we do our religious practices and rituals that we do daily because of our love for God, or should we, or does doing these religious practices, cause get us closer to God? Like which one's correct? The way of thinking.
Okay, again, all such rituals, we are all having special grace of God. That is the reason. You know why? Just think about all other living beings. If we get birth as a dog, a cat, or any animal, we have no such opportunity, right? They have no idea why they are here. They have no idea what they have to do. But we know how we are different than other animals, right? That means we have to follow some discipline, first of all. As per scripture, for example, he was mentioning something about some dhyavandana or puja. Why we have to do that such routine? The reason is we have to be thankful, number one. And we are here with some purpose. So we should have that connection. First of all, we have to understand why we are here. God gives this life for us. How many years we going to live? We come with nothing. And we get older and older. And we know that our life is not permanent. We have to go. But what you going to carry with you, that is called karma. Okay? The knowledge, Krishna gives that assurance. The continuation of such progress. Right? Krishna says, Shuchinam Srimatam Gite Yoga Prashtaha Abhijayate. So, you go to school, you study well, you get graduated, you find a job, you get money, fine. Then leave everything behind and go. What going to come with us? That is what each and everyone having the direct connection to God. One thing. And each of us, each one, we have to have something to carry to next life. Let me tell you something. Why we are here and what is the purpose? The purpose of our life is to accumulate the some amount of karma, the good karma. That is called punya. So bad karma will reflect as papa, sin. You know that, right? If we have such karma carried out for next life, God gives better opportunity. Again, in between I want to ask one question. Are you happy and comfortable with your dad and mom and siblings? Yes? Just imagine if you want to have, God gives the next life. Do you want to have the same mom, dad, friends? Yes? All of you or some of them? Okay. So are you sure about the continuation? We don't know, right? But you want to have it, right? So our Swamiji gives one simple example, right? The continuation, you need to have all, like in a memory storage. What's going to happen if, for example, just imagine you have a phone in your hand, Apple phone. So somehow the phone broken or fell down, whatever, you lost the phone. What's going to happen with all your contacts and all the memory, pictures, videos and everything? Already there in the cloud, right? Okay. Next life also, if you want to same download it, you have to register yourself at cloud. That is God. Okay? His network is everywhere. So if you pray every day, if you connect yourself registered, so even in next life as like next device you going to get. So we get everything cloud from the cloud downloaded. So you're going to have same parents, better friends, for sure. That is Krishna's assurance, not mine. He says clearly, Shuchinam, Shrimatam, Gehe, Yogam, Prashtaha, Vijayate. That is Krishna's assurance. If you open your account and continuously, it is like it has to be active always. That is the reason we need to have constant prayers, right? Krishna says, Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam. Just simple. If you have a friend, if you don't call and don't talk for a couple of years, then there is no connection established, right? If you send message also that friend, okay, I don't know this person, who is this? If you are regularly in touch with, you become familiar, right? So, this girl or this boy, I know him very well. Instantly, your friend will come right away to help you. For that purpose, you need to have constant connection. That is what the reason for our regular prayers. Again, coming back to your question, yes, to have the gratitude regularly offered, and of course, to get connected all the time, we need to have the constant and routine of prayers.
Namaskar, Acharya. I was doing research for a video I'm filming, and I had a question. Which of our scriptures should we take seriously? Because obviously the Bhagavad Gita we should take seriously, and there are others like maybe the Kama Sutra which maybe we shouldn't. So which ones should we take seriously?
So, which grade you are, the subject comes according to your age, according to your capacity, according to your caliber, right? If I give you the subject of PhD, is that easy for you to study? No, right? Like that, you have to go one by one, one by one, one by one. So everything is relevant, everything has meaning. Now, all such, for example, you took the name of Kama Sutra, but that gives the different ideology because of the young age and such attraction. We imagine something, if you get into that, that is giving the totally different ideology. Okay? So how we have to go through the journey of learning that is never ending. Of course, all scriptures are relevant, but different level of our ability to understand. Okay? So that is the reason we have to start with, like, simple, the shlokas, and constantly we have to chant some, like, stotras, then next get into the Vedic scriptures, the Puranas, and then many, many more, right? The first we listen to the story, then the moral of the story, and then, like, again, the philosophical, right? If the social, if it is boring, and some subject, so we may not like it, because of the age. Now look at the small kids. Look at them. What we are talking, that is not at all like an entertaining them. They are not interested. So because obviously, because they have, like, the ability level is up to that level only, right? For that purpose, all scriptures are relevant. Or everything, whatever we have, everything has meaning. But let us go through one by one. For example, Bhagavad Gita is the essence. Bharate Sarvashastrani. Bharatam, Mahabharata itself gives the essence of all such scriptures. And again, Bharate Gitika. The essence of Mahabharata, 100,000 the verses, the shlokas, it is concentrated in 700 in Bhagavad Gita. So that is how So we have so many such opportunities to learn. So we can go one by one, one by one. So when we are eligible to go to next level, we are ready. When we are ready.
So I think I have a question. Nidhir, how routine is important. You know, when we're younger, I'm sure kids, there's a huge range group of ages. But when we were younger, school you have to get good grades, you have to get into a good college, you have to, then you get a job, then you study, focus on your studies, focus on earning a living, get married, have a family. That's the progression of life, alba. And then at one point, we leave this life. So throughout life, nam dharma yeno, what is like, for us it's daily life, right? But what is the point of our life? Is it to go through that routine, or is it something deeper, or is this something that we need to find? How do you even find it?
Good question. The dharma, that is not different than our life. The way of our life is dharma. So, whatever the puja is not just we are physically sitting somewhere and doing some activities, go through the such materials around us. That itself is some like the special practice. That's all. The entire life, the entire the activities of entire day, that becomes puja. That is considered in Sanskrit like this: Prata pradhuti sayantam sayadi prataram tatha yadkaromi jagannatha tassarvam tava pujanam. So to practice, for example, so we have the practice of pranayama. You know that, right? The breathing exercise and something, right? But obviously, we have to inhale and exhale the breathing all the time. Always. We are doing pranayama, just pay attention, that's all. Right? Without breathing, you cannot sustain, you cannot live in this world. Likewise, entire day activities, when you have that consciousness, the God Almighty, somebody is watching you. Let me tell you something interesting. If somebody is watching you, you are alert, right? You don't do anything wrong, right? If somebody is watching you, if teacher or anybody, so you be okay. When you are on own, like inside your room or whatever, so you don't care much because nobody is there to watch. If somebody gets coming into our house, you organize everything nicely because somebody is coming, somebody is watching. Likewise, the God Almighty is there, omnipresent and omnipotent. When we are able to concentrate or think always in our mind, we never do anything wrong. For such practice, we need to have some portion of our time every day. If you have that discipline, for example, you start your day early and spend at least 10 minutes for simple puja or meditation or japa or chanting of some shlokas or bhajans. That gives you are connected, that kind of feeling. And entire day you remember that. So, okay, I just had we know what? All our pujas and activities were two things. One is sankalpa and one is the Brahmarpana or Krishnarpana. The sankalpa, the decision, commitment. Morning we do something, commitment. So I promise to do so. So I promise my God that I'll be doing good things only in entire day. How we commit mistakes or such negative things because of our anger. Right? Most of the time, the reason for such sinful activities, anger or such related negative feelings. So when you start your day, please keep me in right spirit to God Every day you offer your prayer, morning, and that spirit will be there in your mind. And it will make you always doing good things. When you complete your day, before sleeping, again just think about Lord and think about yourself. Did I do anything wrong? You can correct yourself for next day. And that is how so we can bring that discipline into our life. Of course, we have to study, you have to be successful in your life, you have to have the big dream about your beautiful life. Of course, without God's grace, His support, it is impossible. Right? You can study well. It is like the cricket or the football. They can do their best, but result is not in their hand, right? So you can study well. What kind of question going to come in your exam? Do you have any control on it? No. So that is how we can put effort, but end of the day, result only God can give. You can try your best to apply the whatever the best college as per your wish, but the selection not in your hand. Like that, we have that supreme power. The superpower is controlling us. So we have to do our best and be eligible. You have to be one has to deserve that, right, first. So that is the reason we need to have regular connection, and God will take care of the rest. Have positive feeling about it.
Namaskar, Acharya. So I've had this question for some time now, and it's that all these sages, Buddha and many other such Swamijis, they've all left their family for enlightenment for like 20, 25 years. I wanted to know if this is the right thing that they did, because although they did gain knowledge spiritually, they did leave their family at the same time. So did they do the right thing?
Okay, it's a good question. God gives such opportunities and such interest and such spirit to each and everyone. So for example, you are here with some kind of interest. Just imagine there is a music concert, right? The vocal, and one person has to be there with the matabla, mridangam. One customer has to be there with the violin, veena, kanjira, right? Each and every one, they got that kind of interest to study or practice such specific instrument. God makes such connections, and God makes such special combinations as well, right? So that is how we all of us, we are here with some kind of assignment from God Almighty Himself. So whatever they make decision, that is according to that intuition coming into their mind, right? So some people are interested in something. You can also ask a question. There's so many scientists, like in nowadays you can find so many such names. Why Thomas Alva Edison, he got to invent something. Why someone else? Why only that person get that kind of idea coming into his mind? Who gives that? Who gives that idea? God alone, right? Idea, something, it is not our control. So that is the reason God gives that kind of inspiration, make them to be here for some time. You can also call as they are sent by God Almighty Himself to give something special. They are not the normal human beings like us. The Buddha or again the great acharyas or the great such personalities like Hanuman, right? They are here to give some message for all of us. And some, stories we can find in Puranas. The Devatas, the God Almighty Himself, He comes as several avatars, we call it. So they come here to guide us and give us some right message. That is the reason they set some example So how to live our life. And another thing, you know what? Important thing, the one message from our scriptures. Some people you can also ask, the Krishna did some things right and something whatever he did, it may not relevant for us. If you do, of course, you may call as very sinful. Fine. Just follow the message of such great personalities and follow the instructions. That is what important for us. Okay.
So, yeah, let's do it. Why? You don't want to ask?
I read once about the three human natures, like Rajasic, Sattvic, and Tamasic. Can you explain those?
Okay. That's good. And also for the young kids, that may be the little higher and high level subject for you. Still, I try my best to make it very simple. So that such three things we call as the gunas, the qualities, or such feelings like the good sattvika and the medium. One is rajasika, tamasa, which is negative. So all such the nature, such feelings, all natural. It is not in our control. Okay. What we can understand, what gives the right, the feeling and happiness, which spreads happiness around, that is considered as something. Rajasic, of course, it is not so helpful, and maybe you may feel the selfishness around it. The negative, which hurts others like anything, that is called tamas. What we have to do? Let us don't hurt anyone. Let us don't be useless in this world. The waste things. That will be very helpful. That is what all of you want to be like, right? All should appreciate what you are doing. And it may be helpful to everyone, which brings happiness around. And also meanwhile, Rajasic, that means let us don't be selfish. I don't care for others, but I don't do anything wrong. This is like you are doing so many activities at your home. You can help your parents, right? You can help your siblings, right? You can help your friends and relatives. If some event happening at your home, you can help without their calling you. You can go on your own and do your best, because you are thinking mom and dad how much they have to put effort, how much they have to struggle like anything. So let me be helpful to them. Let me try my best to help. This is called the sattvic energy. Okay, you are going on your own. If mom calls, you say, I don't have time, I'm busy. That is Rajas. If mom calls you, you don't care. You don't go on your own. Still, so you mess up everything. For example, when you go to kitchen, take the items to eat and everything. You do all such activities and keep as it is. You don't even clean. You don't care about your, organized the way of your life. I mean, your dress, your all other shoes, all other books. You don't arrange properly. That gives extra work to your mom. That is tamas. Okay. In simple, few sentences. Whatever makes your mom and dad and your family, your friends proud, that is something. If somebody thinks about you are so selfish, that is something. If something, It's so negative, we don't have to explain. That is Dharma.
So I sent out a paper and it's being passed around. There's some really, really good questions and I want more participation from all of you. So as that's going around, I want you guys to look at it, see what resonates with you, and ask more questions. Okay.
Namaskara. So my question was like growing up in America, a Western country, how can we make sure we don't fall off the path of Sanatan Dharma?
Very nice. Very good. I appreciate it. Of Sanatana Dharma, we respect everyone. Whatever they are, whatever their belief is, we respect. But meanwhile, we don't forget where we have come from. Right? So that is what the most important thing. If you look at your mom, dad, the grandparents, and all our relatives, of course you must be having each and every one. Your relatives in India, right? They want to talk to you regularly. They want to see you. They are more than happy to receive you when you go to India, right? Like that kind of an affection. Just think in your mind, whatever we are doing, whatever we are, because they have the great dream about your future. One, like always your mom, before your birth, or during your, childhood, when you were a small baby on their hand, they had the beautiful dream about your future. They had to sacrifice everything, so many things. I don't have to explain, you know that, right? How much your mom and dad, they have to struggle to bring you up to this level. They have their own beautiful dreams. While living in this country, when you have all others also, other people, whatever religion they are, whatever the family background they are all having, of course, have good, friendship with them, that's all. But we have to keep the distance. Because our family, we have our own way of the spiritual life, our own way of living, and our own food style, our own cultural background and traditional values, something that try to keep preserved. We have to be stubborn what we are, and let us don't hate anyone, whatever they are. Let them be like. Now, for example, you have pets at your home. You like them, for example. And all other also having their own style of life and such arrangements. We don't get into their, whatever, the style of their life, their belief, and they are all having, it's okay. But whatever comes our home, that becomes our responsibility. We take care of our things first. We take care of our health first. We take care of our family first. So, keep in your mind, you have friends at your school, let them be only school friends. When you come back home, your family becomes the first priority. Making them happy, making them proud, that must be the goal of your life.
I've had this question. Why did the ancient sages, they put so many contradictions in everything? So one example is in the text they say desire is bad, you should give it up. And the Sakapa say dharma artha kama moksha. Then why do we do it for desire?
That is misunderstanding you are having. Okay? Krishna himself says in Gita, I know, you memorize the entire Bhagavad. Right? Dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshabha. The desire, without desire, you cannot reach your goal. You must be happy. Have good desires, that's all. They are telling, don't have the bad desires. For example, someone, does bad thing to you, bullying at school. What do you have to do? You have to take action, the reaction? No, there is a system to follow. You go to your teacher or tell your parents, this is what. You are not supposed to take any action. So on reaction as well, there must be some system to follow. Fine. So if you go against to the system and because of such anger or such hatred, such feeling, if you take action, so that such desire called as negative. And God is there to take the real action on such activities. Fine. And good desires always you need to have in our mind. There are no contradictions. They are all telling to have the good desires always in our mind to achieve something. You must come up every day with some resolutions. I want to give some tips to all of you youngsters. Every morning, note it down. What you have to do today's activities. And at the night, before going bed, make sure did you achieve such goals of the day. If not, find out the reason why. Another most important thing for all of you, what time you get up early? Every day, early morning. I know you have school. Normally, average time. On weekdays, what time you get up? 6, 7, okay. On weekends? Why we need extra time to sleep during weekends? Why? Can I tell you something? Our Sanatana Dharma having discipline, I told you before, right? So why we need to have extra time, extra sleep during weekdays? That is not needed. You're going to lose important time of your life, right? Time, you know what? Which never comes back. Let us have the same routine on weekdays and weekends. You will be successful for sure. Let us don't waste time. Body needs the limited amount of sleep, that's all. What time you go to bed on weekdays? On weekends? You know what? Yes. Body needs rest and also the mind. Okay? If you are on same routine, football players, the cricket players, how many of you like cricket? Okay, how many you follow the football or baseball? Okay, you know what? All sportsmen, all such the player, they have the routine, the discipline in their life. They have to practice every day. The running race, in the Olympics, everything you follow, right? If they make couple of days of practice, they cannot become successful. They never compromise. Basketball players as well, every day they have to practice. If they miss couple of days, they cannot become successful. Like that, if you want to become successful in your life, you should have the same practice every day. There must be no difference, weekdays or weekends. Are you ready to follow? Then let me know that you are successful. You know what? Last time we had such conversation with one young girl. She was telling her life was so stressful. Why? I was giving some explanation on it. Weekdays, you have to come back home, you have to do homework, of course, you have to finish your project, and again, you have to get up early and go to school. Fine. So, my question is, if you are able to have, the leftover sleep for weekends, I did not get time during weekdays, let me utilize weekend time for sleeping. Can you do the same thing for eating as well? No? Don't eat much during weekdays. Eat more than enough during weekends. Not possible, right? So let us have the same routine. Our dharma is like this. Every day, Suryodaya, sunrise. That time, we have to get up and do the prayer. And again, sunset, we have to have some prayers. Okay, that is the reason my sincere advice to all young kids, keep the same routine for weekdays and weekends, you'll be more than happy. And one advice extra, try. We have to get up earlier than weekdays on weekends. You know what? You'll be having a lot of time in your hand. You can explore it and find beautiful things in your life. So that is the reason, again, such discipline, right? That is what the strong message of our Sanatana Dharma. We are always the same routine. The flow of a river, the Ganga, always the same, like that.
So I actually have a question about death. So when our grandparents pass away of old age, we accept it because they're old. But recently, especially for me in the past few years, a lot of people in their 30s, 40s, 50s have passed away. So how do you accept that? How do you find a reason to that? And how do you detach from your connection with them to be able to move on with your own life?
Very good question. We should have something always in our mind. You know what? We are not permanent here. Nothing is permanent. Nothing is having any guarantee over here. As long as we live in this world, it is completely upon the control of God Almighty. Okay? Whatever comes, we have to take it. Krishna shows such examples. You know the story of Abhimanyu. He had to leave this world very young age. And Krishna had very special affection with the Pandavas, right? Sometimes he says like a Mama Pranahi Pandavaha. That means you are like everything for me. But still, he didn't stop. Pandavas, they lost all their kids. Ashwatthama kills all of them. Krishna did not stop. Because that is the destiny, that is the karma. And teacher, I just asked the question. Why? Sometimes we have to accept. Krishna says, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha. What hurts us more? We don't want to lose my close friend, close relative. Meanwhile, if you look at the newspaper, there are so many youngsters died on the same day. But we didn't bother. Because that's just a news for us. Because we don't know them at all. Something accident happened, so many people died. Fine. It's okay. If you go back the history, the same routine. Only God knows the reason. Only God knows the reason. It is impossible for us to find the reason about the karma path. Gahana karma nogati, Krishna says. That is the reason we have to keep one thing in our mind. Even our life, we are young, we're going to live for 100 years. No way. Be ready anytime. That's it. Only God knows. As long as we are here, let us do the best thing. One of the young, like the spiritual master called Markandeya, he had only 16 years of life. The only fortunate thing over there is he had some idea about it. God doesn't give such opportunity to anyone to know his or her expiry date. Nobody knows. But Markandeya got that special blessings, special grace of God. How you utilize his life, every minute, every moment of your life, I am not supposed to waste. He tried his best to study well. He became an extremely great scholar, and also he attained the big amount of punya after utilizing his and every second of his life by pleasing God Almighty, by performing Lord Shiva's puja and prayer, gaining knowledge. Then outcome is within 16 years he became extremely great scholar. Then when like the Yama comes to take him from this world to heaven, then Lord Shiva appears in front of him. No, this is an exemption for him. Then he becomes the Kalpa Pariyanta Jivana. As long as this universe exists, till then, Markandeya going to live. So, this gives some message to us. Each and every moment of our life is important because there is no guarantee to have assurance for our next day. That is the reality.
A very common question. Oh yeah, I'll give. Oh, should I? The very common question that was submitted was anxiety, depression, sadness. In this generation where we're all electrical, we're consistently consuming social media, consistently consuming content. There's a huge increase in youth who are going through mental health issues. And instead of like healing it, this society prescribes medication to numb the pain or numb whatever it is. How can we use our religion to calm the mind, control the mind, or help with mental health issues?
Excellent. Good question. First of all, when the illness comes to our body, when we are not keeping the good practices, right? When the virus and bacteria attack happens, body is so delicate, our mind as well. We have to keep our body healthy and also mind healthy. We are thinking so many such like what going to happen next and why that person thinks about me like this. You know what? In this world, everybody thinking about others. I want to get nice car because I want to go and around people should think about, oh, this person is great. I want to have the expensive ornaments, the dress. We are thinking about others because if I don't wear such expensive thing, they may think this person is nothing. But in reality, everybody thinking the same. That is the reality. Unnecessarily, we keep all such thoughts carrying all the time. That gives a lot of stress. We have to keep that out. First thing is, I want you to have open conversation with anyone. I mean, you are like parents or some elderly person not your friends. Because your friend is having the same kind of experience or that same level of knowledge. That is not enough. You need to have a master, right? Maybe your parents. If you are not comfortable with them because of their busy or they are occupied with something else, are you are like hesitant? There are some gurus for you. All of you, you can come to Krishna Brindavana. We are always available. We'll talk. We can understand. So, all such confidential conversations will be there, which is going on. So many such youngsters, they come to us. We have open discussions. We will give advice one-to-one. And first of all, I was just mentioning keeping good health, physical and mental. We have to have good practices, right? All such vitamins and such like a good food and everything. So if you maintain, Krishna himself, he says, Krishna himself makes very clear. Yoga means keeping good health, mental and physical, comes with two things. Yuktahara viharasya, yukta jeshtasya karmasu, yukta swapnavabodhasya. The sleep, number one. Second is food and lifestyle. If you have the perfect lifestyle, keeps you always healthy, mentally and physically. Sleep must be in your control. It should not be too much. And first thing, you know what? I want to give some advice, some tips to you. After 9 p.m. till morning 7 a.m., no mobile phones. We have to give the parent, to your parents. Switch off the phone and give to them. You are not supposed to touch. That will give help unless you have the project and you must be having. In general, if you give such commitments and such assurance here, you will be 100% successful. Throughout life, we are going to enjoy the physical and the good mental health as well. Okay? That is the main reason. And second thing, youngsters unnecessarily getting into bad habits. And good friendship, that is also most important. We don't understand. I know all of you are so innocent, nice kids, but you are not eligible enough to understand who is right and who is wrong. Always have good friends, number one. Never get into bad habits at all. You know what? Alcohol is not at all good for at any age or any person. That is completely against to the rich tradition of Sanskrit. So keep away your mobile phones. 9 a.m. to 7 a.m. no mobile phone or TV. Sleep well. That gives the good health. And whatever the complications or challenges and your feeling and concerns and everything, open up. Speak to your mom and dad. You know what is happening when you are small kids? Always you go after Appa, Amma, everything. Eventually, you go away from them. Always, sometimes arrogance, no patience. When you act or react with so much anger, that is not a good practice. You have to change yourself. Don't show your anger at home. Okay? That is not a good practice. When your mom and dad talking to you, pay attention. Have some patience. Openly say some things. As much as you talk right at home, you will be 100% in a good in everywhere. Peace of mind will be there. Unnecessary, we carry so many things. When you talk, right? When you talk openly, right? That comes away. You get so many such clarifications. You know what? Most of the time, your misunderstandings. That's all. Your far imaginations. That's all. The reality, when you open up, you get the exact clarification. Then you have the proper idea about it. This is the way of keeping the good physical and mental health.
Namaskara. So, from what I understand, suffering is an effect of doing bad things. So, does that mean that all suffering is deserved? Like, for example, if someone hurts me, does that mean I deserved it because of my karma?
Yes, good question. So again, we are not here having any control of karma. For example, the policeman, he has some rights to do, and he has his limitations as well. Somewhere at some level, he is not supposed to take any action. There is a court, right? If anything, car accident, for example, happens, who has to take action? We have to go through the process. Then when the final judgment comes to the system, till then we have to wait, right? If anything goes wrong, then we have the system here to follow. That's it. We are not supposed to take any action which may be the wrong something. We have to wait. And assurance here that is time tested. The belief of thousands of years. Whomsoever doing good things will find good things in their life are sure. Whatever the papa karma, of course, God gives the challenges for sure. So one thing is here, past is not in our control. Future, we cannot even imagine what's going to happen exactly. But today, day-to-day life, let us be always alert. Let us don't commit any mistakes.
Namaskara. So, my question is, how do you escape from the mindset of everything is about you and like how it's I who's doing everything? How do you escape that mentality?
That is how Krishna says, Yat karoshi, yadashnasi, yajjuhoshi, dadasiyati, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva madarapanam. You know what? The good practices. For example, learning shlokas, doing puja, and doing the japa. For example, I had enough time, I did 1000 times Gayatri japa, all like that. That may also generate ego. Our practice is, every time whatever good thing comes, instantly you have to surrender, submit to the feet of Lord. All belongs to you and forget it. One of the granthas called Tantrasana Sangraha, Shubham Dhyajam Teye Kaman Gurudev Vatadatan Itaram Atma Paputham Tesham Vidya Bhalishyati. Acharya says, the message to all students like you. If anybody appreciates your effort, for example, you are a musician or the good student, everybody praising you like anything. What you have to think in that moment? Credit goes to my parents, my teacher, and who guided me and who supported me. Let us offer the credit to them. I am the humble student. You know what? Alone in this world, you cannot achieve anything. You agree? Someone has to feed you, right? For that, someone has to cook, right? Someone has to work hard, bring the grocery to home, right? How can you forget all other things? We are not alone in this world. Without such help of everyone, we cannot achieve anything. So that you must share the credit, right? So that every time, whatever the good comes, first God, next Guru and parents. Offer to them, and you know what? This is like your football or cricket or anything. You may happy today. I got the trophy. Fine. We become the championship or won the match. Fine. That is an end. That is not the beginning. Right? Until you pass the exam, your tension is over. You are not free. You know what? You have to get ready for next. You have the continuation. Right? You agree? That is not an end. If you achieve something, you learn, for example, you learn like a beautiful song, you presented nicely. Everybody is appreciating. But next, the expectation is very high. Be prepared for next. You have to maintain the same. Consistency is most important here. Okay? Every time, whatever you achieve, you immediately you have to offer to God, thankful, and be ready for next level. You know what? Another thing, God gives punishment as well. If you forget Him at your achievement, next, you may get scared. You may lose the opportunities as well. So always it is better to be humble. Always it is better. You know what? Itaran atma papothan. If anybody cursing you, you should not, feel bad. That is because of your own mistake, right? Accept it. That is my good thing. You have to share. Whatever the mistakes, errors, teacher did well, but I did not practice properly. So I humbly accept that is my mistake. You can correct it next time. Okay? You don't have to feel bad. That is how we have to have the good feelings always. Anything good, share with others. Anything bad, accept it and try to correct yourself. That is a good practice.
I just had a question. You and I know that our way is the right way. If that's the case, then why has God created a world where other religions exist, some of whom actively do not like ours?
Anyway, no religion or no practice is bad actually. You know what? They have different style of prayers, different way of understanding. That's fine. Let us respect them. Nothing is bad in this world. People, for example, there is a knife, right? Invented with good intention. The people using for bad things. That's all. They are using it. The bad people, they use good things also, bad purpose. That is up to them. Then looking at all such errors in this world, we have to correct ourselves. We are not supposed to make such mistakes, right? All other religion, whatever they have, so there are two things. One is understanding about God and such religious practices. And another question may come, if that is also right, why we have to follow Sanatana? Right? We can also follow them. No, there is another way of understanding. That is not argument, that is debate. We can have such philosophical, the high level, healthy debate. We had before, it is called Vakyartha in Sanskrit word. All great philosophers, they sit and discussion on same subject and have the debate, and one must will become the winning. So there is different something. But Sanatana Dharma, it is time tested, and it has answer for everything. It is not blind belief. That is the reason we have to be proud about it. Okay?
So when we listen to all of these stories, maybe like Krishna's story or Rama's story, they all happen in like, let's say, Bharata, right, or India. So why didn't like Krishna say, why don't I go to that country and enlighten all of them as well?
Nice question. Okay, now the Bharata, if you look at the entire the world, this earth, there are so many such calculations. The continents or island, the Dvipa we call as per the Mahabharata also, Bharatam is not our India. We find some Ghatotkacha and some other characters. They are from South Africa as well. If you look at it. Before, like several millions of years before, the entire, whatever this earth is what one piece. Entire thing called as Jambudvipa. Even today, when we do the Sankalpa, we call this also as Jambudvipa only. Where, like the salt, the ocean around. So that is not limited. Nowadays, the Bharata, India, so it is recognized separately, but Mahabharata, the Krishna Avatara, it happened in India, fine. But God alone created everything, right? There is no God for other the world. Just look at moon or any other universes as well. They are called as the Chaturdasha Lokas. Now let us come to our spiritual, the religious scriptures only. The earth, you know what? That there are 14 lokas. One is the Bhu, this earth. Again the space, Bhuva. Third one, the heaven, Swarga. Mahaloka, Janoloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. Again, if you go down, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Hasatala, Talatala, Patala. But the Bhumi, this earth, is very special. And of course, if you compare this entire earth is like a home. At your home, you keep something very special, secure in a room, right? That is how the holy place, all other part of this earth, if you compare the part like the India, the Himalayas, and all the way to the Kanyakumari, that is considered as the most special and most holy place. That is how Krishna takes incarnation over there. Just imagine, even though big property you have around, but helicopter lands the helipad, right? Like that, there's like airport or specific some place to get like Krishna's avatar or many other such places. That doesn't mean all other places are bad. That means Krishna comes over there and he travels around. He is omnipresent and omnipotent. He is the one created entire this universe, entire world. That means all belongs to Him alone. He is there everywhere.
Namaste Acharya. Is everything in the universe predetermined to happen? Thank you.
Yes, all goes according to God's plan. That's all. What is your question exactly?
So is everything in the universe like predetermined to happen? So like let's just say later somebody will some country A and some country B will have a war like in 2050 or something like that. Is that already predetermined to happen?
Yeah, if that is so easy, when Acharya says somewhere, Yadinamanapasyavate sakalam kathamevatu nitya sukham na bhavet. If it is possible for us to understand or predict exactly why we have to suffer like this, right? It's impossible. That means all great personality, of course, mainly Krishna himself. You know that Vishwarupa Darshana, right? He showed Arjuna all the Kauravas are killed. He gives that idea. Means whatever going to happen, end of the day he says, like that is what going to happen. Good people will be always happy. All bad things will be punished for sure. That is what the assurance we can imagine. And it is impossible for us to understand what going to happen exactly in the future. Through the scripture, for example, it is called astrology, you know that, right? There are some ideas, but we are not capable enough to understand. It is beyond our limitation to understand what going to happen exactly in future. Only God knows. That is the reason. So we have no control about our own body. Do you have any idea what kind of beard we are going to get? No, right? We have no control on our body itself. How are you going to look after 20 years from now? We have no idea. We can just imagine. That's all. So like that, likewise, there is no exact idea what going to happen tomorrow. One thing is for sure. If you are a good person, God is there to take care of you.
Namaskara. People who have a problem with Hinduism, I've noticed, tend to use like misconceptions of Hinduism or ideas of Hinduism taken out of context against us. So how would we get rid of those misconceptions or like debate them without being disrespectful to whatever they believe in?
Excellent. You know what? Most of the time, the ignorance is the reason. They don't know exactly what it is. The only way to understand and get the proper explanation of it, that's all. They criticize, means they don't know about it. That's all. Ignorance is the reason. If such a question comes, if they criticize the Hinduism, for example, you can ask exactly what is your problem. Where is the problem? If you give the convincing answer, like they cannot criticize, right? That's all. The reason is there for everything. We can go through our scriptures, misunderstanding or ignorance. That is the reason for that kind of experience. But if you get answer exactly to the question, you can answer any questions or anybody is criticizing our Hinduism, of course, they have no idea about it. That's all.
Hi, so I was wondering if hard work, discipline, and prayers can rewrite your destiny and negate your past karmas.
Very nice. Of course. Krishna himself says, right? The papa karma can be reduced. In a karma is having some categories. Karma is having three folds. It is called Sanchita karma, Agamini karma, and Prarabdha karma. I can give a simple explanation on it. The reason for our challenges, of course, the karma. One, Sanchita karma, Agamini karma, and Prarabdha karma. Three things, keep in your mind. I think all of you know how to use the computer, right? You create one folder, right? Create one folder. and put all the things into that folder. You can use next day, open it up and continue working. The storage, the folder, that is Sanchita Karma. Whatever already there in your folder. Daily, monthly, yearly, like that, there are so many files in that folder. When we get this life, one folder is open now. Now we are going through the karma. The connection of karma is very difficult to understand. Krishna himself says, Gahana karmano gati. Today, we are facing good or bad. We don't know the reason or the karma, which life karma I am facing today. We have no idea about it. Okay? There are many folders to open. Already there we have many folders. One folder is only open today. All other folders, if you know something about the computer, you can delete everything. But when the folder is open, you cannot delete. Right? That is how. The open called Prarabdha Karma. Prarabdha, which is like an already started, giving the fruit of that. That is the reason only that karma you are going through cannot be reduced. We have to go through. Because, for example, this life. So, if we are thinking, why I am getting this parent, they are not good at all. If I compare with other parents, my friends, I want to have better parent. Is it possible? No, right? So this life we have to go through. If you don't like your siblings, still, this is called Prarabdha Karma. There are some problems we have no solution at all. We have to go with it. But next life, God may give better friends or better siblings. Fine. So this is how the karma, the calculation goes according to our philosophy. That is very difficult subject for all youngsters to understand. I tried my best to simplify. Finally, if you good think, Krishna gives that assurance. So the simple answer for your question is, Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Forget all the things. When you are always humble devotee and accept all the karma you have done so far, surrender it to me. Krishna says, done. Aham tva sarva papebhyah mokshayishvami makutaha. The papa karma of yours, I will delete everything, he says. That is Krishna's assurance.
Namaskar. I wanted to ask, a large part of Hinduism is promoting peace and promoting non-violence and being peaceful to one another, even if you disagree on things. However, when is it applicable to respond with the same level of threats they're giving as well? Like, if it interferes with your life or your family's life or anything else, when is it applicable to respond, I guess, maybe with violence in an extreme situation?
Good question. But if that is not related to our religion or our practices. So there are one thing, one is social life, the way of life. We have to go through a system. When you are living in this country, for example, we have a system to follow. If we have such threatening coming, there is a system to complain and go to deal with it. And religion or whatever such practices, so we believe in God. If you give complaint and the police is there, fine. The ultimate protection from God alone. Okay? So one thing. And our peace, the religion, way of life, and one sincere advice for all of you. If anybody comes to you with such statements, your practice is not good, whatever you are doing not, don't get into that conversation at all. Just stop it. Because you don't know, first of all. So, whatever I follow, I don't know much, but my parents know. Or we have our guru, our acharya, or our priest, they know better. If you have a question, come with me, ask them. Right? Any such criticize they do. Other religion, when you have to go with your friends, with the school, don't get into such kind of cut it off. That's it. You don't have to answer to them. If you have a really some question, come to our temple and ask our priest. That is what you have to say. First of all. Then again such violence and all such things. In reality, in Hindu Dharma, especially let us don't worry about our others. So that is the duty of scholarly people, right? We are all just practicing what we have been doing at our homes. Fine. Ahimsa paramo dharma, non-violence. That is what the ultimate dharma our religion says. Right? Our practice, our belief is like. Let us don't worry about others. If anybody comes to you, if anybody tries to criticize our practices, if you don't know, better to cut the conversation. And just say one thing. You know what? Our practice is not blind belief. Everything has meaning. Everything has explanation. Everything is scientific. Everything is reasonable. Okay? That's all you have to say. I don't know much to answer. Or you can also say, I don't have to answer you. If you are really interested, you can come to our temple. Our temple, you know that, right? We are open for everyone. Anybody, they can come. Other religions or practices, they are only members allowed to go. For us, they can come. If you have a question, you have just come and ask our learned scholars are here. Right? First of all, you keep in your mind whatever the Sanatana Dharma practices, non-violence and all such qualities, and which is reasonable, which is time tested, and which is very strong.
We have time for one last question. Time's flying, right? Here, I will. And if you guys have any other questions, I'm sure Yogeendra and Acharya will do. We have other sessions.
Namaskar, Acharya. So my question is, if Krishna controls our life and everything aspect of it, what aspect do we control? As in, what can we do instead of leaving it all up to him?
Yes. That's a very good question. And Acharya says, what we have to do, what is the control in our hand we are doing? That is the philosophy, high level. What we are doing, we are in ground level. Spirituality is such an understanding and high level for two reasons. While you are doing karma, so you have to do your duties. Puro karma. Haripana vidampriya dhiya satatam. As Acharya says. Puro karma. Your karma has to be performed as what you are today. What are your duties? As a student, you know your limitations, right? You are not supposed to get into some other things which you are not authorized. Whatever your duties, you have to do sincerely, properly, right? You don't have to get into all other things. In Kannada we call it as adhika prasad. You know that, right? You must have heard such word at your home. You know that. Okay. Whatever your duty, do sincerely. Final ultimate doer is God Almighty. When we think about the creating this world and making all others to going through the karma, good or bad, all high level control, God Almighty. But still, Krishna is the only doer. He is giving. In Gayatri Mantra we say Diyo Yona Prachodayat, right? Give the right inspiration, right intuition in my mind. That's all. God Almighty in several forms. You can call him any name. One and only destination. That's all. Whatever the form of God you want to worship, you want to believe, you want to follow, that is up to you. But ultimately, Sarvadeva Namaskaraha Keshavam Pratigacchati. Alone. The Krishnas, that incarnation that is most relevant for Kali Yuga. Because it happened recently, if you go just 5,000 years ago. So that is the reason. So we follow the teaching and preachings of Krishna so close because he is most relevant for Kali Yuga people. That is the reason we have to always think of doing karma, whatever our duty, sincerely. First thing. Then finally, offer everything to him. That's all.
And that concludes our very first session. Thank you so much, Yuva, and
Final few words to all kids. I'm really impressed the questions you have been asking. I'm sure there are many questions. We would like to continue such sessions regularly. If you are interested, are you? Yeah? Okay. You know what? Take home some tips. I want to remind you. One thing is weekdays and weekends. Always keep the same routine. Okay? Are you ready? Then I want you to practice and let me know how successful it is. How much time really you're going to get in your hand to do beautiful things. One thing. Number two, most important, keeping the mobile phone away. Night, early morning, you set the time, now your parent knows. Follow sincerely. And another thing, morning or evening, just sit for some like in a time, maybe 5 minutes. Whatever the Ganesha, or Lord Shiva, or Lord Vishnu, Narayana, Krishna, Devi, Lakshmi, Durga, any form of God. Just sit and meditate. Okay? Morning and evening. You are having the direct connection with God. Morning and evening every day. And one more thing I want you to follow sincerely. Morning, before going school or any time, you have to seek blessings from God. Doing namaskara to Devaru, one thing. Doing namaskara to your parents, two, second thing. You have to do. Tomorrow morning onwards, you have to take blessings. This is proper namaskara to Devaru and proper namaskara to your parents. Okay? I will explain the benefit out of it, what you're going to have. You know, if you follow such things regularly, right, without missing single day, there are beautiful things. Beautiful benefits you're going to get. I will explain during our next session. Okay? All the best.
Thank you all for coming, and Yogeendra, we are so blessed to have somebody like you in our lives and to give us this opportunity to share all the wisdom that you have. So, Peter, thank you so much. And thank you all. You guys were great with the questions. I was so impressed. And I learned a lot. And I hope you guys did too.
Just 1 second, I think. This is a program from the Yuva Brindavana, and Anaga has done an amazing job of ಮೊದಲು ಶ್ರೀ ಸುರೇಂದ್ರ ಸ್ವಾಮಿಗಳ ಪಾದಾರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಸ್ಕರಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಹಾಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೋಗೇಂದ್ರ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರ 2 ಗಂಟೆಗಳ ಕಾಲ ಸತತವಾಗಿ this is our first session for all the youngsters. so that you all start opening up yourselves for a lot of questions. And I know a lot of questions are difficult to get a comprehense. And as he summarized, at least do just the 3 takeaway points for the day. So that when we meet next time, we really expect some kind of feedback for all those 3 points. Okay, I really expect, and also thanks for all the parents for taking a time off on Sunday and then come over here. Thank you so much, and we really look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.